Hello and welcome to another episode of Menu Heroes Digest. I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, well, hopefully you were able to get a break. If you weren't able to get a break, well, I hope you have a good weekend at the very least. I'm your host, Steven.
Will you like to play? Yeah, you've seen the commercials, right?
What was that for? Please remind me.
Like the Nintendo Wii commercials. Come on, it's been 15 years,
No, I never saw the Wii commercials. I didn't
buddy.
I didn't watch
Pal,
commercials when I was
friend,
little.
guy. Well, honestly, I tend to rewatch the commercials. Just simple. I had to watch compilations of commercials because they truly are like, they're not much, but like they are kind of wholesome in their way. It's just two representatives of Nintendo going around different houses, like handing over a Wii controller and saying, "Will you like to play?" and just
Oh,
showing off how they play the games. It's so wholesome, and I watch it like every so often just to feel better about just to
just
feel
to
better in
feel.
general. Yeah, just a feeling. So now, as y'all know, you can have a guess of what our big topic is going to be for this week, and a few other things. Just little snippets here and there. But
Yeah,
take it away, Steven.
we got quite a bit to talk about today. First, a very important update about Menu Heroes. Recently I bought some plushes. I got a Leafeon plush, a Glaceon plush, a Torchic plush, and a Minecraft Axolotl plush. And
Ooh.
I'll superimpose pictures of those in editing.
Okay.
All right, so we will move on to our first
All right.
story, which is about Battlefield 2042 and how it is one of the worst ranked games in Steam history. And it only
The worst of
released
the worst.
it only released 2 days ago. So, as soon as I say the name of the company, one of the companies at least that's involved in this, you'll understand why it's got such a poor review. EA and
I mean,
DICE
the
created Battlefield 2042, which is, another entry in the popular Battlefield. At least I think it's popular. Battlefield franchise.
I'd say, well, okay. Personally, I have a hard time mixing up Battlefield and Call of Duty. I know one is EA and the other is Activision.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, saying those names both give me pain, but you know, those are the two owners of those game franchises. So, and they kind of bleed into each other. But like, I know people who swear but done saying, "Oh no, Battlefield's the best one. Battlefield's the better of the shooty gun bullet
The
games."
Shooty McShoot games.
Yeah, that's what they say. But this recent one and the last one, Battlefield 2, I believe, or no, Battlefield 5, have not been doing too well in terms of sales.
Well, it would help if companies would release games that were polished. So, a lot of people. Oh no, I died.
Oh man, remember the good old days when games would be released and they'd be finished? Man,
Hey,
those were good times.
at least nowadays, if the games aren't, completely polished, they can release patches, unlike, the olden days where if the game was released unfinished, you were just stuck with it.
I mean, I kind of see what you're going at, Steven, but it kind of irks me as someone who wants to buy a new game and has to pay $59.99 for these things, and the games aren't fully finished. It rubs me the wrong way.
Oh yeah,
And
no doubt.
by all means, I do. At the very least, they are willing to patch it,
But
hopefully within the first week or so. But like that makes me as a customer ask, like, why bother playing the game at all? Or why bother paying it on launch? Why not just wait until the game's finished or the game is patched up?
yeah, I mean, I completely understand. So on the top
Yeah.
10 worst reviewed games on Steam. This game is currently at number 8. And it's probably going to move up because people are still reviewing it very poorly.
Yeah.
Common complaints include broken vehicles, bad hitboxes, shoddy PC performance, bullet registration and accuracy issues, lack of features, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. I mean, again, the whole point of a shooter game is if you can accurately hit something and you get, again, it should get points or should be able to effectively, complete a mission or take out a target.
Yeah.
And if there's a problem with hitboxes, but you've missed the whole point of a shooter.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else about this? Oh, yes. Let's see.
Did this game have women, Steven? That's what I gotta know.
I actually don't know.
Because that's the thing's been ruining these games. It's them women's.
Oh my god.
I am joking. Please do not
You're
take that out of
canceled.
context. You know what? I deserve that.
That's going in the cancel Menu Heroes
you
compilation.
can't even be sarcastic. You can't even like make a joke or like be sarcastic about things. It's just like, oh, this is something you said. Well, clearly, I didn't mean it. Clearly, it's I'm saying it in a sarcastic voice.
Oh my god.
No matter. Done. Gone.
Yeah, you're gone.
I don't want to get. I really don't want to get into that. But
oh my god. Anyway,
yeah.
My favorite comment someone's made is, when Battlefield 3 came out, I thought to myself, imagine how Battlefield would look in 10 years. This was not what I expected.
I mean, that kind of sums up my thoughts on AAA blockbuster games in general. Like, we're constantly getting news of games not being finished and being buggy as crap. Like, we just covered a story last week about like just a remastered edition of 3 classic games being broken, unfinished, and full of bugs.
Oh, you know what?
Full a swarm of bugs.
It's great that you mentioned that because we have a story on that. So,
really?
Everyone knows about the terribleness that is the GTA Trilogy Remaster.
It
missing
still breaks
fog,
my heart, dude.
broken ring, ugly character models, and just a bunch of, messed up messes.
It makes the Silent Hill HD collection look like the Metal Gear Solid HD collection,
No. I've only heard bad things about the Silent Hill HD collection.
Steven, as a Silent Hill fan
Uh-huh.
who loves replaying those games and loves doing like walkthroughs and breakdowns of the psychology of stuff, that collection hurt me.
Ooh,
I felt completely ripped off
dang.
when I bought those. And you see how I became so cynical? You see how the world has changed me, Steven?
Yes. So, one of the things that Rockstar did that was very controversial was they removed the classic trilogy from storefronts. So, they heard the feedback. My God, they heard the feedback. How could you not? And they are bringing back these classic games, and anyone who owns the remastered trilogy on the PC through Rockstar's store, that's the important part. If you bought it through like Steam, it doesn't count, I guess. You'll receive these classic games for free automatically. It will go on until June 2022. Which is...
Well,
oh yeah.
Again, it's like the PC gamers, you got a chance, or hey, you lucked out, or or I should say like this is a good day for you. Console and Steam gamers, sorry not sorry.
I mean, given the fact that it's only if you bought it through Rockstar's store, it makes sense that it's not on the consoles and stuff, because those are sold through other storefronts, like the PlayStation Store or Nintendo's eShop.
Fair enough.
It still sucks,
I'm sure,
but
yeah. But it's like it's one of those they have to pay. Like, they get a certain cut out of the profits.
Oh yeah.
So.
All right. So moving on. Arcane.
Well,
you want to say
hey,
something?
before we get to that, weren't we going to talk about like some of the worst games we've ever played in our lives, just to like see like does that compare to, or
Thank
just
you
in
for
terms of talks of like
reminding me.
most. Well, I just brought it up right before the show, so
Yes,
thought I'd have to bring it up.
If you didn't, I would have completely forgotten. All right, I will let you start because I have to actually think about this one. It's been a while since I've played bad games on purpose.
Well, well, I'll tell you. Some of the worst games I played were not on purpose. I was a young little lad, full of hope and aspirations, and believing that movies and games, they're my friends, and the companies that make them, they know what's best for me. They would never betray me. They would never sell me, worthless garbage.
Oh my god!
And then there was more and more movie-based games.
Oh,
now, granted, Goldeneye was good, and I do believe later on there was a King Kong movie-based game that I actually really liked, or I thought it was short, but it truly felt like you were like truly controlling King Kong and like beating up dinosaurs, and that was enough for me to have fun with. But there's a fair share of movie-based games that that I had the misfortune of picking out, asking my parents to get me, or just a family member just got it for me for a birthday or Christmas, just thinking like, here you go, Jordan. You like this thing, right? Here's a game version of that.
Uh-huh.
That wasn't the one thing that hurt my feelings for my family, but didn't help.
Oh.
I'll say right now. I'd say like the absolute worst one that comes to mind is the Small Soldiers Game Boy game. That the controls for the Gorgons and everything, those toys. Are you familiar with the movie Small Soldiers?
I am. That's the one where that's the one where like
it's the
military
one with
chips bring toys to life, right? Something like that.
Yes. It's like it's sort of it's like Toy Story, but edgier, but yeah, it's like it's been forever since I've seen that movie. It probably has not aged well, but I watched it a lot when I was a kid, and unfortunately, I got my hands on a Small Soldiers video game for the GameCube. No, not the GameCube, but the Game Boy. Sorry, no, well, I don't even want to imagine that, but no. The Game Boy version of Small Soldiers, the controls were awful. The hitboxes were all over the place. And there were certainly missions where like you were trying to find an object or a thing, and I swear I would go through hallway after hallway or room all throughout, just jumping on platforms, having no idea what I'm supposed to do until I land on a specific platform, and then a cutscene happened, or what the Game Boy equivalent of a cutscene was back then. Yeah, and oh god, that one was really bad. Also, the Stuart Little Game Boy game was also pretty bad as well, but at least that one had slightly better controls to that, and there was a bit more mini games to that one. But it's like all of these movie-based games all were pale comparisons to the quote-unquote real games, and they all were made at a tight budget. Either they were made directly to tie in with them, or like right as the movie came out, or by Christmas. That's how studios always did it. But surprisingly, one of the few games that did that, one of the few movie-based games that did not do that was Goldeneye.
Yeah.
People don't remember GoldenEye did not come out the same year as the GoldenEye movie because they allowed the developers to have time to make sure the game functioned and played well. And that's still considered one of the best movie-based games. So you would think that other studios would learn that, but they didn't. And we've so many bad games to result from that.
Yes.
All right.
So piggybacking
but I
off
will.
that. Oh, go ahead.
There is one game I can still remember that is not movie based, but you could tell the creators really wanted this to be a big new franchise, but it was not. It was Drake of the 99 Dragons, or was it Drake? It was like something of the 99 Dragons. It was like that one where it sort of looked like a Bruce Timm kind of like style and look to it. You know, it's basically an assassin who is semi-immortal and he's got 2 guns and everything. It's usually on the list of one of the worst games of all time. And unfortunately, I was one of those unfortunate souls to have gotten the game. And yeah, it's as bad as everyone says. The controls, the movement, the camera. The camera is your greatest enemy in that game, dude. It is so bad. And all the cutscenes for that game, the lip syncs don't even match up. There's hardly even characters moving their lips in some cutscenes, man. It is super dirt cheap, but man, ugh. Oh man. Yeah, that one really crushed me. Anyway, any bad games you've experienced?
So there are a couple. They're mostly, like you said, movie-based games. There's just something about, trying to make these tie-ins that they're shameless cash grabs. So one that I remember vaguely, but I don't remember details about it. I don't remember why it's bad. I just remember I thought it was bad. Was the Chronicles of Narnia game for the DS.
I'm pretty sure my cousin had that game. I think we played it briefly. I think that was definitely on the Xbox, right?
No, this one was
There
on
was
the
a version
DS.
on the.
There probably was an Xbox version. There was a GameCube version.
Okay, because so there was. I do remember there being like a 3D Narnia game that came out. Because I remember it. Yeah, we were up late last night during summer vacation, and we were playing the game, or playing the game together, and yeah, like the version I'm thinking of, like each of the Pevensey kids each had their own ability. Like the older brother could like break things, the little brother could like climb poles and stuff like that. It was very limiting and very tedious.
Yeah, I don't remember many details, but I remember thinking this isn't very good.
Yep.
And then there's like obvious choices like, Paper Mario Sticker Star. But that's kind of cheating.
I was looking to avoid that one. I was kind of lucky to avoid that one because
and so
I don't know. I think just
it's a cheap shot, low-hanging fruit. There is another game that, while I love it because of nostalgia reasons, it is not well designed. It's linear as heck, and that is Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. It will forever be one of my favorite games because I played it so much as a kid. But if I was to say it was a masterpiece in gaming, I would be blinded by nostalgia.
I can understand that. I'd say of the movie-based games I played, the Harry Potter ones I think were better than most.
Yeah.
But even then, they were very simplistic. They weren't winning Game of the Years, any of them. But I thought they were still fun. I still enjoyed at least a couple of them.
I remember Order of the Phoenix on the DS, and it wasn't that bad.
Okay, I'm thinking more of Prisoner of Azkaban. That's the one I remember the most.
How dare we?
I know I'm older.
How dare we remember different things?
Yeah, I know. How dare I be older than you and have more experience in games and and remember commercials that are 16 years old.
I was like 7 when the Wii came out.
Yeah, I was about 16. Wow. That makes art. I mean, look, you can have friends of any age, but it does when you say out loud, it does sound
You're
kind of weird.
old, haha. Nah.
Yeah. I know.
7 plus 15 is 22, right? Yeah. Anyway, let's move on
Yeah.
so that we don't waste, Oh my god, we're already at the 20-minute mark. All right. Arcane.
Yep. So, yes, League of Legends.
I'll let Jordan handle this because he's also going to do a spoiler-free review.
Yes, because I have finished the whole season, and I thought for sure we'd go into a spoiler territory, but yeah, I gotta rein it back because hey, because well, last week I gave my initial thoughts on like the first 2 episodes, 2.5 episodes. I mean, I don't want to spill too much, but I will say the ending episode 3 is a big shocker. And some other big surprises and twists of the show in general. But yeah, basically speaking, this is one of the not only one of the best animated shows on Netflix. This is one of the best. Just it's. I would say it's in the top 10 best shows on Netflix right now. I would say that right now. Not only is the animation fluid and the action sequences are fantastic, how they handle the way they handle the characters and the world and the lore and just the basic like sort of magic and science mechanics of this world is really it's almost envious of like how seamless they could like bounce all of these things out and not have be a total mess. Because I've seen fantasy and sort of sci-fi fantasy shows and movies try and deal with a big cast and try and go into stuff in terms of the world and lore, and they fumble the ball terribly. Even stuff that I like, they do make some mistakes here and there, or don't quite have some jank in them, I should say. But to me, Arcane always finds the perfect balance, and I think it helps that it keeps the focus on outer. Now, granted, like they'll get more to what those characters become later on, but the point being is like, and more focusing of like the balance of like, you have this big city, Piltover, the city of progress, and like it's all about the advancements and hinting at like this is a city founded by like protecting itself from like outside forces and everything, and they're. Again, it's in the first episodes where there's a hint of like there was once a big magic war that happened, and the people of Piltover were once survivors. But as the city is about to like protect themselves and all about progress and everything, there's been a very clear divide between the upper class and the lower class and everything. And again, that obviously that in itself like really interests me, and I'm but even then, I would say. The show does a good balance of like not showing either side being good or evil, making even the characters that are meant to be villains per se, always giving them some depth and humanity and something that you can relate to, and that alone is like, claps for that, or just I know,
It adds
yeah, it
realism
hits,
to it.
it's man. I just finished this last night, and I'm still like processing the whole thing together because, man, I know I'm old. I've seen my fair share of video game adaptations, and I know League of Legends is a game I have never played. I have no attachment to League of Legends, but like, it's almost shocking how good they translate some elements of that world and translate the characters to make you compelled to like see their journey and see their struggles. And I gotta say, man, I might actually playing League of Legends. Even it is like a weird soccer game that you were saying last week, I might check it out, man. Or hey, there's actually are talking about a fighting game version of League of Legends that I think just was announced, I believe.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard, but that would be cool.
Yeah, I'm just saying like I might check that. I obviously a big fighting game fan here. I definitely would check that out. Absolutely. Um, yeah, man, and this is I'm sure this is like teen rated or older teen. Definitely a bit of definitely violence, a bit of blood, a bit of swearing here and there. So keep that in mind. I always want to make sure people are aware of the more mature themes going on in a story, just so people are aware and can judge whether they can handle it or not. So definitely not for little kids, So any you parents out, parents, there's some people who honestly still think the animation is for kids
Yeah.
and just put any animated thing on no matter what, even though clearly it's talking about some very mature themes. So keep aware of that. But I would say, like, I can easily imagine me being a big fan of this kind of thing if I was a teenager. If I was watching this when I was like 13 or 14, I would have loved this show. I love it right now. But I'm saying like that's a perfect age for this show. And Boulder, I just, dude, please go watch this show, man. I am so impressed by this, and yeah, and I gotta say, if we're ever going to talk about the best video game adaptations to either movie or show, we gotta talk about Arcane. It's got to be on that list. We're up there with Castlevania. That's also available on Netflix. Please go check that show out.
Netflix, give us money.
So that's kind of my. Hey, yeah, anything to help support these two shows, anything to help greenlight more seasons, which, okay, there is a new season of Arcane coming out, or it's been greenlighted for season 2.
Yeah, it's been renewed.
So far, yeah, so far, no news on Castlevania, but come on, please, give us some more Castlevania, please. This is really good. We need some in Belmont, please.
All right.
Anyway, that's what I gotta say, because I'm trying really hard not to spoil anything.
That was another Jordan's spoiler-free reviews.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've done reviews for other things on the channel. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's
Oh no, it's
we don't really name any. We don't name any of the segments here, but I have thought of a name for a certain segment, but we will try that next week.
Actually, we'll get to it today. It's just it'll be mixed in. Anyway.
It'll be the pilot episode of the new segment, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll do that.
All right, and now it's time to segue into something that's not game related. Sorry, it's off topic, guys. But the new Disney Plus Marvel show Hawkeye was released today. They released both episode 1 and 2. And so I watched them this morning, and let me say that it's making Hawkeye one character I was not expecting I'd like. Like, it's making him one of my favorite Avengers.
All right.
Just because it shows, without giving away too much, you definitely get more feel for who he is as a person. You see the effects of other Marvel movies on him, which is a staple of the MCU. And I'm excited to see where he and Kate Bishop go, because it's very cool. Go watch it if you have Disney Plus. There's not a lot to say because it's first season. Or first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Go watch it. And now, my, 1 minute spoiler-free review is over. So.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely say I'm definitely excited to see Kate Bishop, because she has been becoming one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Comics. And if you know anything about Kate Bishop, she is a big character in the Young Avengers team. So if she's doing very well or people get excited for her, that means Young Avengers probably could come sooner than later. So
I mean, they have, they've made
real
some
excited for that.
hits. Like WandaVision introduced the children, and aren't they part of the Young Avengers?
Oh yeah, Tommy and Billy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I haven't really read the comics just because there's so much, and I never know where to start from.
Yes, I know, Steven. I'm a nerd. Okay. God, you have to spell it out for everybody.
All right. Well, this next part's gonna make you feel really old. The Wii
Have it.
is 15 years old.
Wee. Oh, sorry. I was trying to do like a high pitched wee, but it didn't work.
When I was a wee lad,
My father took me into the city. Sorry.
my other mother
my
had
brain
gotten me a Wii.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, buddy.
Okay, my brain just went there.
You can sing your emo songs.
I will, thank you.
Anyway, I got a Wii at launch, and there's actually a funny story that goes along with this. I don't know how accurate it is, but I like to think it's true. So my aunt worked at GameStop at the time, and this was in California. So, there's lots of movie stars there. Supposedly,
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I forgot his name. Elijah Wood's agent or someone who worked for him called that particular store asking for a Wii, but they only had one left in stock, and that was the one that I was supposed to get for Christmas.
Oh.
So I was the reason they didn't get a Wii from that store. Elijah Wood didn't get a Wii from that store.
I bet you rubbed it in his face, didn't you? You and your other mother went to his house saying, "Ha ha! Guess you ain't getting this Wii now. The goats of power is mine, Hobbit."
Anyway, I still have that Wii. Oh my god, it's 15 years old, but I have it. Did you have a Wii, Jordan?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, the saddest part is I know my dad told me a story about him struggling to go through several different stores just to find a Wii because they were sold out everywhere. And I did have it around. I have it around for about 6 or 7 years. Then eventually I sold it just to get a PS3. And my dad, I'm sure he was very heartbroken by that fact because he struggled like crazy to get that Wii. But it was just after a while, I was more interested in the PS3. I was hoping to finally play some PS3 games. And if you listen to this, Dad, sorry. I still sorry. But hey, I'm very thankful that the games I was able to play on the Wii because I did play my fair share of Wii games and had fun with it. But I was ready to move on to another console.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and list some of my favorite games from the Wii, and then I'll let you do the same. So there's
right.
obvious ones that come to mind are the Super Mario Galaxy series, especially Galaxy 2. Galaxy 2 was great. The Wii Sports series, they were always fun. The Subspace adventure from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. That story
Right on,
mode
right
was
on.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
it's weird that some people will dunk on that one particular, but that one had the best storyline.
I get why people dunk on the gameplay itself because in an effort to make it more accessible to casual players, they added this system that was it would make you trip up randomly. It was weird. But I think with Ultimate they've hit a good balance between competitive and casual. there was also, Virtual Console I loved. And there was this WiiWare game called Fluidity, I think was what it was called. It was
Okay.
basically this game where you could change your state of water. You were water or something. I don't know. It was a puzzle game, and I just remember having lots of fun with it. Kim and I both played it.
All right. All right.
So, what are some of your good memories from this? Oh,
Oh boy. Well, I have to talk about Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And I know what some people are going to say. It started off as a GameCube game. Most people played on the Wii. We all played it mostly on the Wii. Okay, so shut up.
actually, interesting fact. It came out.
Oh,
It came out. It came out on the Wii. I think it came out on the Wii like either at the same time as the GameCube one, or like one day before.
I know, Steven, but there are certainly some people that want to be technical and saying, "Oh, technically speaking, it's also a GameCube game too, so it's not really a pure Wii game." It's like I don't care. I played it on the Nintendo Wii. I had fun, like using the controllers to swing around my sword. It was super fun. I loved it. Shut up. So anyway, obviously, fond memories for that one, and Metroid Prime 3. The whole Metroid Prime trilogy is just fantastic.
It is.
Um,
I want it on the
but,
Switch.
but yeah, come on, please. We're waiting for a long time. Okay. I'm glad I have Metroid Dread. Finally got it. Been really enjoying it. But also, come on, make the Prime trilogy available.
It's
I don't
easy
even
money.
I don't even care for an HD port remake or anything. No, just give me the ports. Just release it as is on the Switch. We'll be fine. I'll be okay. Oh man. But also, I feel like esports in itself was super fun. I had several family members coming over, and we just played that for a lot. And also, Rock Band. Yes, that series got old, and they kept doing reversions or re-releasing newer versions each time with different songs and everything. But I'd say the first two Rock Bands, my family and I had a lot of fun with that. We got the controllers for Rock Band. We had a lot of fun with it, with the drums, the guitars, or trying to sing anyway. But hey, we had fun with that Wii game. That was definitely worth getting the Wii all on its own. But also, I loved Twilight Princess and Metroid Prime 3. But there are other games that have been on the Wii that unfortunately did not get nearly as much love as those games.
Yes.
That I wish would come back. So, did you want to talk about some other Wii games first before I get to my segment?
Trying to think if there's anything I left out. No. I did love Super Paper Mario.
Oh, wait, that was on Wii. Yeah. And that one was good, but
Best Paper Mario story. Interesting gameplay.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that, man. I love 1,000-Year Door.
1,000-Year Door is good, but Super Paper Mario made me cry.
I cried too with the little Koopa kid almost thought his dad died. That was a pretty dark scene.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, let's go on to your segment.
Yes. So this one I didn't put a whole lot of research onto, admittedly, because I had thought of another game to talk about. But hey, this is the beginning. This is the pilot episode of our new Menu Heroes Digest segment, the Comeback Corner. Dun dun dun. We'll think of a better song. We'll think of a better music to play later. But anyway.
Oh.
Here we talk about.
I remember something I was gonna say. I'm sorry for interrupting. But speaking of music, you mentioned Rock Band, and I just want to say Guitar Hero is what I played. But that, like, was very influential because playing Guitar Hero was one of the things that made me want to be a musician.
Oh yeah, I mean, like obviously, Guitar Hero and Rock Band they were fun to play. It's just like there was more to do with Rock Band. You could be guitars, or you can be a drummer, or you could sing. You know, it gave you more options.
But anyway, I can make a little ditty for our segment. So go on.
All right. Well, again, this the pilot episode, so still work in progress here. But basically, the comeback corner is going to be our segment where we look at old video game franchises, or even just like video game one shots that had brimming potential. You know, either the games themselves were phenomenal, were great, or were okay or decent, but had a lot of potential to bloom out into more sequels. And obviously, we will be talking about and we might even talk about certain game franchises that had sequels, but like hasn't had any further development in over 10 years. And I think would make a great comeback, or certainly would excite the old gamers like myself when if ever they do a re-release or a remake or just do a freaking sequel. Yeah, that one is pretty unlikely, but yeah, hey, but one can dream. I certainly didn't think Psychonauts was going to get a sequel. I had lost hope. I thought there was going to be some big news of like, I'm sorry guys, we're going to cancel Psychonauts 2. I'm sorry, but they did it. They released it. It's made. It's real good. Nobody still bought it, but they made it.
Uh-huh.
So there is always hope. There is always hope that they might give some of these older franchises or just these one-shot games another chance. So anyway, the Wii, but tying this all into the 15th anniversary of the Nintendo Wii, I am picking at least 5 games that I thought were really good, and but obviously either didn't sell as well or didn't do the numbers that Nintendo wanted, but I think could come back. I think could deserve another try and could benefit from newer graphics or just newer engines that are out there. So the first one being is Zack and Wiki Quest for Barbaros's Treasure, or Barbaros, whatever. Zack and Wiki. That's the fun little pirate game. You got like your big-headed, big-eared pirate protagonist with this little cute orange monkey, yellow monkey thing. There's like, it's side-scrolling, it's puzzle adventure. It's got a nice little cel-shaded, cartoony look to it. The characters are a lot of fun. Equal, I'm not sure if it did or not, but it feels like with games like Shantae and the half genie heroine that blew up, that became like at least had a big huge cult following. At least I think something like that could come to Zack and Wiki if they ever give this game a chance. Moving on to number 2 or number 4, however you want this. I didn't bother to really number these, but hey, I'm going off script here, dude. I'm just
flying by the
just
seat
remembering
of your pants. You're doing
we're doing it live. We're doing it live.
Screw it, we'll do it live.
Yes. So anyway, Ivy the Kiwi. This one, funny enough, is co-created by the creator of Sonic, Yuji Naka.
Really?
This is one of the games he developed once he left Sega, or like yeah. So basically, it is, again, a game about a little kiwi that's going on a little side-scrolling adventure. The thing is, you don't actually control the kiwi.
Oh, you
now, that sounds weird, but basically you're controlling, like building vines, bridges, like things to help the kiwi get over certain obstacles and areas.
Like
and I thought that was such a clever idea, and
It's like Lemmings.
What? I was gonna say there's another game that's similar to that, and wasn't there like a goo game or some kind of gooey game thing that either was on GameCube or on the Wii? That oh man, it was big for a while, but like I unfortunately can't remember the name. But it was like a small little indie darling that people were talking about briefly on the internet.
Or something?
That's it. Yes. Oh man, that one I really liked. that was another fun one that again was talked about for briefly for a bit, but just no one talks about it ever again. You know what? Add that. World of Goo. Okay, so we got Zack and Wiki, Ivy and the Kiwi, World of Goo, and okay, I'm gonna pick a more actiony thing just to get people excited again or get people somewhat interested. So, oh yeah, Hiromasa the Demon Blade. This was a cool Metrovania, like hack and slash RPG kind of game. It's in the Endo period of Japan, where you could be either, a ninja who's lost his memories, or you could be this woman who's possessed by an angry spirit. Man, it was a cool, fun hack and slash with very like interesting looking, demons you had to face off and everything. That game was a lot of fun, and I was hoping that would take off, but unfortunately never did. All right, so to recap, we got Zack and Wiki, World of Goo, Ivy the Kiwi, Miramasa the Demon Blade, and finally for number 5, Mad World. Now this one was the talk of the town, and I'm pretty sure it made some bit of money for Nintendo, because like this was talked about like for a while. It's like co-created by Yashimi Matsuno, who created Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy VII. Oh wow, so you got one of the creators of a big part of the Final Fantasy fame, creating this very much like a death match, super violent black, white, and red world and everything. That was again very violent, very just fun hack and slash and everything. And it's weird. It's like you would have thought this game would have caught on same late as No More Heroes, and it has a very similar sort of dark humor tone like No More Heroes, but this one did not take off, and I don't know. That's like a shame. It never really went anywhere. But anyway, so this is my okay. So number 6, we'll add a number 6 one. This one, unfortunately, never was released in the U.S., even though it's a game purely made for U.S. audiences, and that is Disaster: Day of Crisis. I've only ever discovered this game through walkthroughs and other channels talking about, hey, here's a game that was never released in the U.S., but hey, it's a lot of fun. And basically, you're a rescue worker that's like discovering this terrorist organization that like created this massive bomb that creates like disasters around the city, and you're rescuing people and taking out terrorists and everything. Like, the dialogue is super cheesy, but it's like it was this weird mix of like disaster movies from the 90s, but also kind of action, action films from the late 80s and 90s also. So it was sort of like Volcano and Speed at the exact same time, which, would have blown my mind if I was playing this as a kid, because I kind of love those movies. Maybe I think of Dante's Inferno. It was like one of the disaster movies of the 90s, but like it was like a secret terrorist organization that was secretly involved with creating this disaster, and your main character not only had to save people from the disaster, but also had to take out the terrorists too. So it was, again, it was the perfect 90s cheese that I think Americans would have loved, but unfortunately, the former meme president of Nintendo of America, Reggie Fils-Aimé, was the guy who just said, nah, this ain't gonna fly here in America, dude. And hey, he's a guy that I respect. He's a guy that has not always made the best decisions, but overall, I do, I felt he was fun. He certainly was a showman. He certainly was a guy who was able to get people riled up and get people excited for whatever Nintendo's going for.
Oh yeah.
But man, Mr. Reggie, sir, you were wrong. This game would have been a hit in America. Disaster would have not have been a disaster, but you made a disaster, sir. You made this happen. How dare you?
Oh my god.
Anyway, that'll be it for the comeback corner. Any of these 6 games, I think, could be brought back up, or at the very least be re-released for the Switch, and I think would do pretty well, or would get a cult following, at the very least.
If you don't mind, I want to tack on, I think, at least one game that I'd like to see make a comeback.
No, Ken, go ahead. Go ahead.
I personally have always loved the Chibi Robo series, and I know that's more popular than, or well, not more popular, but like well known than some of the other games we mentioned, and has more sequels than some of the other games. But I would still like to see a proper sequel to Chibi Robo. Are you still there? Did we lose you?
Yeah, I'm still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, oh yeah. Sorry. I had to look it up real quick just to remember what exactly Chibi. Yeah. So yeah, this is the robot that could plug himself up and everything, and help protect the house and everything.
Mm-hmm. Very fun game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this one I found out real late. I literally was when the Wii was about to be discontinued is when I discovered this game, and it's like this again. This was a lot of fun, or this was a really fun little discovery.
I've personally never played the Wii version, but I played it on the GameCube. And you know what? Number 8, Pikmin. We need more Pikmin.
Yeah. Okay. So was the last Pikmin game on the 3DS, I believe?
Oh yeah, I forgot that one existed.
So that was like the Hey Pikmin. Okay. So I'll admit, yes, Pikmin. Um, a surprise hit for Nintendo for like the GameCube, and yeah, it did continue on into the Wii and onward. But but again, there hasn't been anything recently.
Yeah, the most recent was a re-release of Pikmin 3 for the Switch, because Pikmin 3 was for the Wii U, and well, we all know how that went.
Yeah,
I love my Wii U. I think it's like
it has.
a fantastic console because I can play all these retro games on it. I hacked mine. So, I've got emulators on it. I can play GameCube games on it.
It has certainly its defenders, but it's always was a difficult thing of like people were never sure what exactly it was.
Yeah.
Like for when it was first released, people were thought, is this a addition to Wii? Is this like meant to be like a continuation, or is this a whole new console? And it didn't help that Nintendo themselves were not doing a great job of like clarifying what exactly this thing was. So that did not help out.
See, a lot of people say that it was just because of the name that it failed, but really, the name didn't really have a lot to do with it. It was more the fact that Nintendo focused way too heavily on the gamepad, and that confused people. Because, like, people are like, oh, well, they named it Wii U, that's dumb. Well, they named their second console the Super Nintendo. You're gonna tell me people back then didn't think that that was just an add-on or something?
Well, I'd say like
People
back then add-ons were literally added physically to the thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think like a lot of people were thinking that, but I do feel like that with the design of the Wii U, and like certain games had certain controls to them. Like I think the best example is the Star Fox game that was released on the Wii U, and there was a certain way you had to control the Star Fox characters and everything that left people very confused and was very hard to manage. And Shigeru Miyamoto, who was like co-producer of the thing, like he was insisting like, oh, keep playing for an hour, you'll get used to it. I play games a lot. I play games for hours on end, and I get used to controls. Unfortunately, most people do not have the same attention span as he does, or just like they play a game for a minute and they're like, oh, I'm not getting this. Screw this. So stuff like that did hurt the Wii U. That had very specific controls to them, and people were not getting it immediately. So they said, well, screw this. I'm not picking this up, or I'm just going to move on to something else.
Another big factor was the lack of games. There just weren't that many first-party games, and third-party support was lacking.
Oh, because like again, third parties were like, I don't get this, or I don't see the appeal in this. I'm gonna just go to PlayStation or Xbox or
That and
PC.
that and the underpowered nature of the Wii U. But I digress. I also wanted to add a game that, because you mentioned a game that was never released in America, and that reminded me of another Wii game that I was interested in. This one's a little more mature than the others, but it was called Captain Rainbow, and
Well, let me see.
it was basically like this big goof crossover game.
Okay, I'm looking at an image right now, or looking at images here. Okay, I love the design of the characters. Yeah, okay, this is the one where like he was like meeting the forgotten characters of old.
Yeah, where Little Mac has
Yeah.
become Big Mac.
Yeah. Man, poor little Mac got the short end of it for a long time. And also, yeah, there hasn't been a punch out game in since Wii.
That's another
What
one.
gives?
Punch Out on the
Yeah.
Wii was great because it,
It.
it wasn't
Oh my
just
god.
it wasn't just a remake of the original. They added a couple characters and the controls were like completely revamped, and it was so cool.
And spoiler warning. I don't know if you want to put a spoiler warning here. The last guy you fought was Donkey Kong. That was pretty awesome.
It's a pretty great game. All right,
It was, and it's sad that they never continued on with that.
the Switch would be a perfect one for it because of the motion controls. But
Yes. Oh
Arms,
my god.
like
Yes.
Arms has shown that they can do decent boxing games. So give us Punch Out. Anyway, we have spent a little too long on this. So, because we are just about at the hour mark,
Yep.
so let's talk about our last two articles. One of them is like not even really news.
Well, I think it's the one of the Super Smash announcement. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the Joy-Cons.
Right.
Yeah, so basically, it's just Nintendo recently said that they're trying to work on the Joy-Con drift that many people are still suffering from, but, there's not really anything on this article.
Yeah, it's just like it just says like every console goes through wear and tear, but like Nintendo Switches, Joy-Cons are wearing down quicker than usual, or most of the consoles or controllers. So, Nintendo's saying, "Oh, we're on it. We'll get to it eventually." So that's about it for that one.
Yeah. So, we've got Smash Brothers, like he mentioned, and I hope I hope you smelly players are ready. Oh, didn't mean to alienate like the two people that watch us, because the first officially licensed Super Smash Brothers championship circuit in North America is coming in 2022. So, interestingly, I mean, unsurprisingly, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is going to be used. But
Oh, yeah.
they're also going to use Smash Bros. Melee, which I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I think Melee's overrated.
I have never even played Melee.
I think
that's the one Smash that I've never played,
Uh-huh.
even though I had a GameCube, but I still have not played it.
I mean, people are like, it's the best Smash Brothers. It has like the tightest controls and stuff, and I'm like, that's cool, but I just think it's overrated.
Melee does not have Sora, so boom, you lost.
It's just, I feel like there's more replay value with the newer ones.
Oh yes, I mean, again, I'm speaking of somebody who has not played Melee, but it's like, yeah, hey, the first one, it was the very first one. It was pretty much like a fun little experiment that Sakurai did. Took off, got pretty popular, and each new game has offered new stuff, more characters, and more stages, and what have you. Um,
I think
yeah, so
I think my favorite story about Smash Brothers, and I know I interrupted you, and I apologize for that.
no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Is that Sakurai actually started development of it in secret. He didn't tell Miyamoto what he was doing because he was worried that the project would get canceled. So he worked on it in his spare time. And then he went and showed the project to Nintendo, and they were like, "You know what? This is pretty good. We'll allow it to be released." And that has spawned decades of enjoyment for everyone.
You would be surprised how many times people have tried to make things in private and have without the approval of the company, and have decided and just hoped that well, if we apologize and say we're sorry, maybe they'll be easy on us and still give this project a try. I do believe that one of the Godzilla games had just included Jet Jaguar and some of the more obscure Godzilla characters, just because the people behind them were super fans of those characters and didn't really give the approval from the owners like Toho and all that. But Toho said, "Yeah, you know what? Fine, go ahead. Yeah, you should have asked for our permission, but yeah, you took a lot of effort to put them in there, and they move fine. So all right, go ahead."
But yeah, it's I'm actually not surprised by how often that happens. Just because I've heard so many stories, it's still amazing every time you hear about it. But yeah.
But there's also been times where that has not gone over. But we'll talk about that later. We will talk about stories like that probably next week.
You've got something in mind?
Well, again, I have an idea for the next comeback corner.
All right. Well,
yeah, but hey,
it's your segment.
You have to wait and see on that.
I'll let you handle it.
Thank you. Anyway, I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Yeah, I got stuffed, and took a little nap after I got home. But hey, as I said, I hope all y'all are safe. I hope y'all are protected, or you all are doing well. I wish y'all the best.
Yeah, I hope like he said, I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. And I hope you have a great weekend. This is released on Saturday, so I hope your Saturday treats you well. And oh yeah, before we leave real quick, Jordan, what's something you're thankful for?
Well, I'm gonna go with the basic stuff. Thankful for a roof over my head. Got decent conditioning, both hair and heating wise, and that. Yeah, well, hey, if you get too hot, you gotta have good air conditioning. If you get too cold, gotta have a good heater. Gonna need those things. And even though my job has been pretty rough, I am thankful to have a job and I can get a steady income. Because I was able to buy both the Mega Man collections, both the original Mega Man collection and Mega Man X, just a moment ago.
Oh, nice.
They were on sale, so that was one of the Black Friday deals I was able to take advantage of.
You know what? I should probably get the Mega Man collections that I don't have, so Mega Man X.
And that's another franchise that has not had a game in over 10 years.
No, that's not true. Mega Man 11 came out for the Switch.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. Did you miss that?
I must have, because I remember Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10, and there was nothing for a long time. Or, okay, so basically there was plenty of, Mega Man, projects that Capcom would greenlit and make a big announcements for, and then they would immediately cancel it. Like a Mega Man Legends 3.
I knew that was gonna come up. Oh no.
Oh god, that one hurt.
Anyway,
That one real hurt.
I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I'm thankful for my family, my friends. I'm thankful for y'all that watch this, and until next time, stay cool, stay safe.
Gobble gobble, monkey flingers.
Perfect.
I can say monkey flingers, right?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay.